So one of the most common college admissions essays is about personal growth. And here's an example of one that has come up in the Common App application for quite a few years. And this is one of the most important fundamental questions. It may not just come up in the Common App, it may also come up in school-specific essays. And the schools want to know how you have grown as a person from a specific incident, experience, encounter, volunteer experience, and so forth. So let's go and walk through this essay step by step so that you know exactly how to ace it to get into your top choice college. So the first step is to find that experience. And here are a couple of examples that we've seen prove very successful to help stimulate the thought process to be able to answer this personal growth question. One example is a volunteer experience and how encounters with the people you're volunteering for or cause or organization change the way you thought. Another example is an encounter with an individual, someone may be influential to you, someone that may have eventually mentored you, right? And how that has changed your thought process and the way you live. Another example may be travel experience, just like this one, where I'm in the middle of Central Asia and Tajikistan, and how that influences your life and the people that you encounter, the difficulties you face. Another example is maybe a medical tribulation, a challenge that you faced medically, how you overcame it, what you learned from it, how compassionate you became from that experience. Now, before we go into how we'd actually outline and write it, I want you to understand, what are the schools looking for? It's not just the fact that you went through an experience, but they want to show maturity, how you live and evolve as a person, how you treat other people, how you can overcome a challenge or think about something, process through it, and grow from it. Because college in and of itself will be an example of personal growth. Later in your life, other experiences will happen to you that will challenge you. And if you can't grow from it, if it inhibits you, if it profoundly affects you in a way that just holds you back, then you won't be able to advance in life, succeed in life, live life till its fullest. And so the school wants to know how you deal with those incidents, because you will go through them in college. Now, how would you write this essay? Well, first, in the introduction, you want to introduce the idea. What happened? What was the incident? What was the encounter? Put the context in place, kind of like a movie. Put me into the motions, put me into the scene. What is happening? Okay? And don't become too descriptive and then drag the introduction for far too long, but enough to really put me in the place of what is going on, whether it's that travel experience, the person that you encountered, the volunteer experience, the medical challenge, or whatever it is. Give me that context, that experience. What kind of happened on a general macro level? The second paragraph is where you really want to start dissecting the experience, not just telling me what happened, but then go through it. Tell me about the emotions. Get raw, get personal, really get into that experience in and of itself and how it impacted you. Just again, don't be very descriptive, but not overly descriptive so that the intro is short and this part is way too long. You still want to make them somewhat equal. Give me the introduction in about 100, 150 words, and give me this explanation of how it impacted you in more depth in about 200, 250 words. And obviously you have to think about the total word count that the school is giving you, or the essay prompt is giving you. The third part of it, which is probably the most fundamentally important part, is don't just tell me what happened, how it affected you, but more importantly, how that's impacted you in the future. How do you treat people now? How has it changed your mind in terms of the way you act, what you do, what other volunteer experiences you take on, other travel experiences? Has it made you more open-minded, more empathetic, more emotionally connected to yourself, to other people, right? That really is where the hardest part of this job is going to be, because it's less descriptive of just facts and more thought and catharsis of thinking about your experience and how it's impacted you, which is probably the most important part of this essay. Last thing, like we always do, is just think about a couple of don'ts. Don't overload the introduction with, as I said, with a ton of description and then leave the rest of it just for them to guess, right? Also, don't be in a situation where you only tangentially talk about that experience and it doesn't even sound that profound, doesn't even show that you really kind of learned from that experience, right? And again, that leads to the third point, which is you have to get to the crux of how you have changed as a person. You don't want to be in a situation where you're talking in general platitudes and not really getting specific about how you as a human being has changed. And just for me as an example, I travel all around the world. I love it. And in fact, it makes my life so much easier when I work work with clients for Right Track Admissions, because I understand their narrative, I understand their backgrounds, I understand the context of where they live and how they live, the political issues that they face, right? That's changed me, and that's changed the way I deal with people and the way I think through people and the way I'm empathetic. And I think that's an important factor that you want to consider and not avoid and make that fundamental mistake when writing this essay on personal growth. Well, I hope you found this useful and get you on the right track to success. If you have any questions for us, please post them below. We'll do our best to get back to you with further resources. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe over here. And if you want more information from Right Track Admissions, make sure to check us out over here. And we look forward to helping you on your college admissions journey.